A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Warm welcome to our, thank you. Makes us understand that, we are all alive. Thank you. Kunju general light open padlama. We can, this is more an interaction time. Yeah, thank you. A very warm welcome to our parents, teachers, and the heartthrob of Alchemy, our dear children. A very warm welcome also to our audience who are there on the online platform watching this live event. We were just standing there and discussing a few minutes back. Very few parents here today. Children are there, but some parents have gone back. Very few people here. Might be the online is, really interesting. Some people are convenient to some people. And then I was just reflecting. It's not a film premiere, it's a literature show. When libraries are running out of people with more books and less hands to pick them up, literature festival will be there. We'll have a little bit of ups and downs. But it's so nice to see you parents here and these lovely children here. All of us would have seen this as a small joke on Instagram. Hey, the COVID batch pa. Ivladhan edirpaaka mudiyum. Read On is a COVID batch. Read On was inaugurated in 2020. Yeah, 2020 when COVID hit us. And as one of the performance opportunities was Read On, but surprisingly, this COVID batch is doing very well. We have reached the 7th edition and we are so happy. In this edition, we're going to be having close to around 500 children performing across the 4 days, starting today. There are going to be 500 children across various slots of performances. And there are going to be a few schools who are coming in here for performance. So it's going to be a very, very engaging time for the next 4 days. Because the beauty is, we are so happy, each one of them who's going to be performing is picking up a work of an author or a poet or a playwright. In essence, they're beginning to read. Today's world where people are viewing things, it's more of video, we are so happy that they are reading. There are also going to be guest performances connected with literature, and today we have Ms. Aarti who will be performing a wonderful Bharatanatyam piece that is connected to literature. So literature doesn't just end with our English classes. It doesn't end with that English textbook there. It actually flows into our life and every moment of our life. So welcoming you all for this wonderful festival, and let's make the best use of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, without further ado, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest for this evening, Srimati Janaki Sadesh. Janaki Sadesh writes, performs, and lives through stories. Her distinctive and authentic style of blending narration, music, and movement is loved by children, youngsters, corporate professionals, teachers, and everyone alike. Janaki's engagement with children began when she produced an audio cassette, The Learning Train, in 1995, simplifying the world of numbers through stories and songs. A multifaceted creative professional who wears many hats and loves every bit of it. Janaki is an accomplished actor with over 30 films in Tamil and a few in Telugu and Malayalam, a voiceover and theatre artist, an experienced marketer, facilitator, TEDx and professional speaker. She is also a happy chief fund officer at her storytelling initiative, Golpo Tales, with Golpo meaning story in Bengali. Janaki has curated multiple stories and monologues that she performs for adult audiences too. Some of the notable ones are the other Sita, Agni, Discovering Kode, 4 p.m. Coffee Call, A Sari Remembers, to name a few. She also brings people together through intimate storytelling experiences around personal tales, food, music, and nostalgia. She believes a story told from the heart will always win more hearts. We're truly delighted to have her with us today. Please join me in giving her a very warm welcome. And may I request you to please join us on stage. I now invite our founder and managing director, Vijay sir, to kindly honor our chief guest. And now, I would like to request our chief guest to please address the gathering and declare the festival open.
Thank you so much, Tejaswini, and thank you to Mr. Vijay and Alchemy for having me inaugurate the 7th edition of the Read On Children's Literature Festival. I see many youngsters here, and I hope there are many youngsters watching online, as Mr. Vijay just said. I would like to rewind and go back to my childhood when, I'm not going to disclose my age, but that was many, many decades ago. And you want to say something, Anna? You have your hand up. You want to say something? Yeah, can I finish and then we can, yeah? Thank you. So this was in Kolkata, where I grew up, and I think I was just about 5 years old, and I had to say something. I had to, in front of the assembly, I had to read a poem. And my father sat with me, and I don't know how many of you even remember, there was this beautiful poem by Sarojini Naidu, and it goes like, "Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Who will buy this delicate light, rainbow-tinted colors of light?" I still remember these first. I mean, I can go on and on, but I remember these 4 lines. They are etched in my memory. I couldn't read so well then, but my father sat, taught me, told me to memorize it, but also understand the meaning. And that was my, I think, first brush with literature, poetry, and something that was going to change me forever. But I didn't know then. Fast forward many, many years later, 2012, I think, I was doing these storytelling sessions in a school, in a Montessori school, 2 Sundays a month. And once I finished a class, a little boy came and he said, "Next class, you have to tell me an ostrich story." I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I will." And I went back, and it is Mata Pita Google Deva. So I Googled, and I realized that there was no story about an ostrich that resonated with me. So I went back after 2 weeks, and I told this little boy, his name was Samar, I said, "I'm so sorry, Kana, I didn't find any ostrich story, but I have a different story." He just looked at me straight into my eye and he said, "You didn't find her? Then you write it." And I said, "Oh my God, look at this boy. He's asking me to write a story." And ladies and gentlemen, young children, that is how my first book was born. I became a published author in 2018. It is called the Jungle Storytelling Festival, published by Tulika Books, available in 9 languages, and it's about an ostrich that stammers and is unable to tell his story. Of course, I won't tell you the ending, but it is a happy ending. He does tell his story. So why I'm sharing this story is you never know how books can make a comeback in your life. But that is as long as you as parents allow your children to get bored. Allow your children to browse through books, because when he or she browses through books, they enter a world which is not flooded with flashy lights, fast editing, pictures going, one after the other. They just spend hours and hours on one page because the story invites them in. And when they are invited into the story, they discover their own story. And this cannot be done in any form of digital, social media, any kind of media except books. My father used to say, he was in the publishing world, he used to say, you have to feel the paper. He used to make me smell the, various books, fat books, small books, thin books. He used to make me read Amar Chitra Katha, and he will say, can you feel the paper? The Amar Chitra Katha paper was a little more lighter than other books. So he will say, can you find the difference? I mean, these are little things which I think our children are missing out, and that is where I must applaud Mr. Vijay's initiative. I mean, yes, you started in COVID, but you have continued. And when I say continued, you never know how the books can change somebody's life. You never know how a single word, a single phrase, like how it changed mine. My daughter, when she was young, when she was just about, say, even crawling, then 2 years old, 3 years old, I used to spread books all over. And she used to pick it up and just read it, topsy-turvy, all kinds of things. But she used to love it. And I see that with my granddaughter, just coming back from Bangalore. And her granddaughter is 18 months old. And she loves books. She can't read, but she can see movie. She can see bananas. She can see the sparrow or the crows going cheep, cheep, cheep. And when she sits on one page, she goes into a dream world. And my daughter and I say, oh my God, let her just dream, because I don't know, maybe she's imagining the bird in front of her, or she's imagining Mowgli to be in front of her. We don't know. So this is the kind of imagination that books allow your children. And today, if we allow our children to spend time with books, during all these train rides, I see so many parents just giving a digital gadget. I wish they could just substitute it with a book. Many books, they don't take too much of luggage space. When a child goes on vacation, it would be great if the child packs the book first and saying, this, I cannot go anywhere. Sometimes parents come to me and complain, Ade book tirpi will paakam, ade page. That is what book is all about. It is that the child's imagination is going really wide. That's why I love the title, or the way you've named it, Read On. Because you don't simply read on, you also imagine on. You're spot on. You're full of things, everything is on, because unless you switch it on, unless you get that book, unless you have a space that gives you, every kind of encouragement to pick up a book, read it, perform it. Because I know Alchemy is not stopping with just literature. You perform. I mean, we're going to see a performance of a dance recital through stories. I mean, literature, where she's going to reimagine literature through her work. How wonderful is that? It is all about imagination. And if we can give, the only gift that we can give in this world that's going from, I don't know, I don't even want to have a spark of negativity here, but we're going through some tough times and tough phases where we ourselves don't know what to expect the next day. Whether it's global warming, whether it is, the kind of traffic rage that we see every day. But then, imagine that your children are going through this phase with their favorite book. They're not bothered about what's happened. They're only bothered about how the book is going to end. The kind of challenges that the book throws at them. That will give them the strength to maneuver, to navigate their life through these ups and downs, because they'll get lost in literature. Take it from me, they will definitely get lost in literature. And I can say that I not only raised my daughter as a writer, raised a daughter as a reader, but also as a writer. She and I co-authored a book called Parties Rasam, which won us the National Jarul Book Award, which was published by Curated Tales, and it was called Parties Rasam. It is about loss, it is about memories, it is about a lot of things, and all these things are also present in your children. You never know when they will take the pen and they will start writing and they will publish it. But that need not be the goal. The goal can be of just allowing them to. So I'm so happy that I was able to meet all of you here, and thank you, Mr. Vijay, for again asking me to be the chief guest and asking me to open the Literature Festival. So I formally declare Read On the Children's Literature Fest Season 7 open. I must come to Tejaswini. I have met Tejaswini a couple of times before this, but I think she's one of the most smartest girl, so full of confidence and so clear in how she articulates herself. And she came to shoot the video where I had to just invite all of you. And it was so beautiful, just a few minutes of interaction. She's the prime example of what theatre can do, what literature can do, and what alchemy can do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to embark on a wonderful journey through stories, unforgettable characters, incredible performances, and the endless magic of books and imagination. Because at Read On, we just don't read stories, we step into them, live them, and carry a little bit of their magic always with us. And with that, I'm going to hand over this magical evening to our anchors who will take you through the wonderful journey that awaits. This is Tejaswini Vijay, signing off with a heart full of stories and a little more love for the magic of reading. Thank you so much, and over to the anchors.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nidhi, and it gives me immense pleasure and joy to welcome you all to yet another edition of one of our favorite festivals. Every year, all of us look forward to this festival. On behalf of all of my friends at Alchemy, I cannot tell you how excited we are to be a part of this amazing festival. This festival is very unique to Alchemy, and we take great pride in calling it our own. Welcome, one and all, to the 7th season of the Read On Children's Literature Festival, curated by Alchemy Arts and Education Foundation, to celebrate the works of authors, poets, and playwrights. The Read On Children's Literature Festival was launched in the year 2020 and is celebrated every year since then in the month of August. Each year, a list of poets, authors, and playwrights are chosen, and we celebrate their works, thereby honoring them through this festival. The Read On Festival is open to all children, including non-alchemy students. On that note, this morning we had a wonderful display of 36 performances by students of Sri Shankara Senior Secondary School and Holy Sai International School. We are eagerly waiting to showcase the talents of our alchemy students in this evening's performances. So sit back and enjoy this evening. Today, we will be experiencing 22 performances performed by students across all grades. Our first performance for this evening and the 37th performer of the 7th season of the Read On Children's Literature Festival is Ritika Sharvani, who will be performing a poem by W.H. Auden. Now, Auden is a British American poet, famously known for his stylic approach to poetry, displaying a wide variety of tone, form, and content through his poems. Over to Ritika, who will be performing A Walk from the Dark by W.H. Auden. Over to you, Ritika.
Hi all, my name is Ritika and today I'm going to perform the poem called The Walk After Dark by W.H. Auden. A cloudless night like this can set the spirit soaring. After a tiring day, the clockwork spectacle is impressive in a slightly boring 18th century way. It suited adolescents a lot to make so shameless a stare. The things I did could not be so shocking as they said. If that would still be there, after the shock were dead, now I'm ready to die, but already at the stage. When one starts to resent the young, I'm glad to those points in the sky may also be counted among the creatures of middle age. It's quieter, thinking of night, as more an old person's home than a shed for a faultless machine, that the red brave Cameron life is gone like imperial Rome, or myself as 17. Yet, however much we may like the stoic manner in which the classical authors wrote, only the young and rich had the nerve of figure to strike the lacrimated wrong note. For the present stalks abroad, like the past and is wronged again, whimper and are ignored, and the truth cannot be hid. Somebody chose their pain, what needn't have happened did, occurring this very night by no established rule. By no established rule. Occurring this very night by no established rule. For the people who have been here, they all know the truth. But the stars burn on overhead, unconscious of final end. As I walk home to bed, thinking what judgment waits. My people, all my friends, and these United States, thank you.
That was a fantastic performance, Ritika. Did you know that there was a great playwright whose probable birth date and death date are the exact same date? Any guesses? It's none other than the great English bard William Shakespeare. We now have our next performance, V. Chinmay, who will be narrating the story The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare.
Good evening, everyone. Have you ever made a promise that is very, very difficult to keep? Well, let me take you to a beautiful city called Venice. A city of sparkling hills, little boats called gondolas, and a story about friendship, promises, and a very unusual deal. In Venice lived a kind merchant named Antonio. Antonio had a very good friend named Bassanio. One day, Bassanio came running to him and said, Antonio, I need your help. I want to travel and meet the wonderful Portia, but I don't have enough money. Antonio wanted to help his friend, but there was one problem. Antonio didn't have any money either. All his money was invested in ships sailing far away across the sea. So he went to a money lender named Shylock and asked him to borrow some money. Shylock agreed, but made a very strange and frightening condition. He said, if you do not return my money on time, I will take a pound of your flesh. A pound of flesh? What a terrible deal! But Antonio was sure his ships would return with lots of money. So he agreed. But then, disaster! The news arrived that Antonio's ships were lost at sea. He couldn't repay Shylock, and Shylock demanded Antonio keep his promise. The case went to court. Everyone was worried. How could they save Antonio? But then a clever young lawyer entered the courtroom. But guess what? The lawyer was actually Portia in disguise. Portia told Shylock, "You may take the pound of flesh as the agreement says." Shylock was delighted, but then Portia added, "But you may not spill even one drop of blood." Shylock was stunned. How could anyone cut flesh without spilling blood? He couldn't do it, and Antonio was saved. And that is why I like The Merchant of Venice. It teaches us that being clever is powerful, friendship is precious, but above all, kindness and mercy are far greater than revenge. After all, sometimes the greatest victory is not in punishing someone, but in choosing to forgive. Thank you.
That was a good narration of a popular story, Chinmay. Jack Brilinsky is a legendary children's poet, and all his poems are loved by children. But did you know that Mr. Brilinsky hated poetry as a child? Now let's welcome Diksha to perform the poem "I Should Have Stayed in Bed Today" by Jack Brilinsky. Take it away, Diksha.
Hello everyone, my name is Diksha and today I'm going to be performing a poem called "I Should Have Stayed in Bed Today" by Jack Brilinsky. This poem is dedicated to everyone who woke up on a fine day, but everything started to go wrong. This poem is precisely about that. I should have stayed in bed today. In bed's where I belong. As soon as I got up today, things started to go wrong. I got a splinter in my foot. My puppy made me fall. I spilled a toothpaste in my ear. And I crashed into a wall. I knocked my homework off the desk and it landed on my toes. I spilled a glass of chocolate milk and now it's soaking through my clothes. I accidentally bit my tongue and that really made me moan. And it was far from funny, but I banged my funny bone. I scraped my knee and bumped my nose. I sat upon a pin and looked up with alacrity and sharply bugged my shin. I stuck a finger in my eye and the pain is quite severe. I better get her back to bed and stay there for a year. Thank you.
An interesting poem, Diksha. Our next poet is an exponent of the Augustan literature and is its translator too. Alexander Pope is best known for his satirical and discursive poetry. We have A. Vishnuvardhan rendering the poem "The Dying Christian to His Soul" by Alexander Pope. Over to you, Vishnu.
Good evening everyone. My name is Vishnu and today I am going to perform a poem called "The Dying Christian to Soul" by Alexander Pope. Vital spark of heavenly flame, quit or quit this mortal flame, trembling, hoping, lingering, flying. Oh, the pain, the bliss of then. Cease for nature, cease yourself, and let me languish into life. Hark, they whisper, angels say, sister spirit, come away. What is this obsessing quiet? Steals my senses, shuts my sight, drowns my spirits, draws my breath. Tell me, my soul, can this be then? The world recedes, it disappears. Heaven opens on my eyes, my ears, with sound, rapid ring. Lend your wings, I mount, I fly. O grief, vast of victory. O death, vast sting. Thank you.
That That is an amazing performance, Vishnu. Our next performance is by Arinya Arjun, who will be performing the poem Jaguar by San Francisco ex Eclair. Our esteemed poet considers himself to be a binational, as he is born in California and grew up in Mexico. He embraces both the cultures and is proud to be a part of them. Over to you, Arinya.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Arina, and I will be performing a poem called Jaguar by Francisco X. Alarcon. Some say I'm almost extinct in the sky, but the people who say this don't know that by smelling the orchids in the tree, they're sensing my fragrance of my chops. That by hearing the rumbling of the waterfall, they are listening to my ancestors' great roar. That by observing the constellation of the night sky, they are gazing at my star spots on my fur. That I am always will be the wild, untamed living spirit of this jungle. Thank you.
That was a brilliant performance, Aranya. Jerome K. Jerome is an English writer and a humorist who is best known for his comic travelogue, Three Men in a Boat. The book is a hilarious account of the travels of the author and his two friends, George and Harris, on a boat trip along the river Thames from London to Oxford. Our next performer is A. Arav, who will be performing an extract from Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. Over to you, Arav.
Hello everybody, my name is Sarah. I'm going to perform a monologue from the story Three Men in a Boat by Jerome. The narrator diagnoses himself. The book opens with the men lounging and discussing about their various health problems, which leads the narrator to conclude he suffers from every health problem known to medicine. I remember one day to go to the British Museum to read up the treatment for some slight ailment of which I had a touch. I got down the book and read all I came to read, and then in an idle way. And then I turned over the leaves and promised to study diseases generally. I forgot which was the first distemper. I plunged into some fearful, devastating malady. I know before I glanced half down the list of premonitory symptoms it was. Born upon me that I had got it. I sat for a while, frozen with horror and in the listless mode. Typhoid fever. Read the symptoms, I discovered I had typhoid fever. I worked my whole way through the alphabet, and the only melody I couldn't conclude was when God my housemates me. Thank you.
That is very well performed, Arav. Our next author, who we'd like to honor today, is a very well-known writer, Charles Dickinson. Dickinson was an author and a journalist. He has created some of literature's best-known fictional characters and is considered as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. Let's put our hands together for Sathika Rangarajan to perform an extract from Oliver Twist by Charles Dickinson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Satvika Rangarajan.
Today, I'm grade 1 senior from Alchemy, and today I'm going to perform an excerpt from Oliver Twist. For the next 8 or 10 months, Oliver was the victim of a systematic course of treachery and deception. He was brought up by hand. The hungry and destitute situation of the infant orphan was duly reported by the workhouse authorities to the parish authorities. The parish authorities inquired with dignity about the workhouse authorities whether there was no female then domiciled in the house who was in a situation to impart Oliver Twist the consolation and nourishment to which he stood up in need. The workhouse authorities replied with humility that there was not. Upon this, the parish authorities magnanimously and humanly resolved that Oliver should be farmed, or in other words, that he should be dispatched to a branch workhouse and 3 months off. When 20 or 30 other juvenile offenders against the poor laws, rattled them at the floor all day without much inconvenience of too much food, too much clothing. And under the parental superintendence of an elderly female who received the culprits and for the convenience of 7 pence halfpenny per small head per week. 7 pence halfpenny's worth per week was a good round diet for a child. A great deal of 7 pence halfpenny was enough to overload the stomach and make it uncomfortable. The elderly female was a woman of wisdom. And experience. She knew what was good for children, and she had an accurate perception of what was good for herself. So she appropriated the greater part of the weekly stipend to her own use and consigned the rising parachild generation to even a shorter allowance, thereby finding in the lowest depth a deeper still, and proving herself a very great experiential philosopher. Thank you.
That was truly an amazing performance, Sarthika. Detective stories and novels have a special place in all of our hearts, and among them, Sherlock Holmes is everyone's favorite. Holmes refers to himself as a consulting detective and is known for his proficiency in observation, deduction, forensic science, and logical reasoning. We now have our 10th performer for today, and the 44th performer in this year's read-on is Mahati, who will perform an extract from The Curse of the Baskervilles from the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by author Conan Doyle. Over to you, Mahati.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mahati. I'm from grade 1 senior. Today, I will be performing the story from Sherlock Holmes' Curse of the Baskervilles chapter 2. I have in my pocket a manuscript, said Dr. James Morgan. I observed it as I entered the room, said Holmes. It's an old manuscript, early 18th century unless it's a forgery. How can you say that, sir? You have presented an ancient tool to the examiner. All enough the dog is talking. It would be a poor expert who could not give the date of the document in any kind of flow. You may have possibly even made a photograph upon the subject. I could be at 1730. The exact date is 1746. Dr. Morgan knew it from his present. This family paper was committed to my care by Sir Charles Baskerville,
whose sudden and tragic death some 3 months ago created so much excitement in Devonshire. I may say that I was his personal friend as well as his medical attendant. He was a strong-minded man, sir, shrewd, practical, and as unimaginative as I am myself. Yet he took this document very seriously, and his mind was prepared for just such an end as did eventually overtake him. Holmes stretched out his hand for the manuscript and flattened it upon his knee. You will observe, Watson, the alternate use of the wrongs and shorts. It was one of the several indications which enabled me to fix the date. I looked over at his shoulder at the yellow paper in the field foot. At the head was written Bastable Hall, and below, in large scrawling figures, 1742. It appears to be a statement of some sort. Thank you. The extract was truly a masterpiece. Good performance, Mahati. We have another monologue from William Shakespeare. So this time is another one of his classics. As You Like It. The play is a pastoral comedy showing stark contrast between simple rural life and corrupt court life. Famous quote, "All the world is stage," spoken by a melancholic Jack, is from here. Let's welcome Shritika Shri, who will be performing Phoebe's monologue from Shakespeare's As You Like It.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shritika Shri from grade AS from Advanced Lesson. Today, I'm going to be performing Phoebe's monologue from As You Like It by William Shakespeare. I would not be the executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Now tells me, this murder in mine eye, this very sure and very probable, that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their cower gates on atomies, should be called trants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, but if mine eyes could wound, then let them kill thee. Now come to fear to swoon, do I now fall down, or if thou canst not, oh for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound mine eye hath made. Scratch thee, but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon the rush, the cicatrice and countless impressure, their palms a moment's keep, but now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Now I am sure there is no force in eye which can do hurt. Thank you.
That is beautifully performed, Shritika Shri. Our 11th performer and the 46th performer for lead on Children's Literature Festival Season 7 is Rishabh, who will be performing an extract from the novel series Secret 7 by Enid Blyton. It is said that Enid Blyton wrote over 800 books, selling 600 million copies worldwide. Over to you, Rishabh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rishabh and I am from Grade 3 Senior Adayar, and today I am going to be performing an extract from Secret 7. Everyone, gather around and listen carefully. We've been waiting for this moment ever since we noticed those strange happenings near the old cottage. Today, we are here to investigate, but we must remember that a good detective never rushes into danger without a plan. The most important thing is to stay calm, keep your eyes open, and work together. If we do all that, we'll have a much better chance of solving this mystery. First of all, nobody is to wander off alone. It might seem like a quicker way to search, but it could also mean missing an important clue or getting into trouble. We are stronger as a team, and each one of us has something valuable to contribute. One of us might notice footprints, another might hear an unusual sound, and one of us might remember a detail that the rest of us overlooked. That's why teamwork is the greatest strength of the Secret 7. Look around you. Every little thing could be a clue. A broken branch, fresh footprints in the mud, an open gate, or even a piece of paper blowing across the path could tell us something. Or even a piece of paper blowing across the path could tell us something. That's why we must pay attention to details, because mysteries are often solved by what other people ignore. Don't assume anything is too small to matter, because the tiniest clues could lead to the biggest discoveries. If we happen to see someone near the cottage, we must not jump to conclusions. There might be a perfectly sensible explanation for their behavior. That's why we must stay calm, watch quietly, collect facts, and think carefully before actually explaining what is going to happen. Remember to keep your voices low. If someone's hiding nearby, they might hear us long before we see them if they make too much noise. So, Secret 7, this is our opportunity. We have planned well, prepared carefully, and decided properly. So, quietly and confidently, let us begin our adventure together. Thank you.
That is a great performance, Rishabh. With that, we come to the end of the first half of today's performances. I now would like to invite a special guest performance. And I would like to invite Tejaswini Akka to introduce them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nirvi. Today, our guest performer for Read On Children's Literature Festival Season 7 for Day 1 is Aarti Hariharan. Aarti Hariharan, disciple of Acharya Srimati Indra Kadambi, is a dedicated Bharatanatyam dancer from Chennai who received her foundational training under her late guru, Srimati Pavai Rajashekharan. She holds a bachelor's degree in BCom, corporate secretariat, and a UG diploma in Bharatanatyam from Kalakshetra Foundation. She has also completed a diploma in Natwangam from Adyar Music College and is currently pursuing her master's degree in Bharatanatyam from Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapith. Aarti is a certified Karana practitioner, having learned the Karanas directly from Padma Bhushan awardee Padma Subramanian. She is also pursuing Carnatic music under eminent artist Vidwan A.D. Ramprasad. Alongside dance, Aarti has a strong interest in yoga, yayama, and body conditioning, which support her strength, flexibility, and balance as a performer. She has completed the Navarasa Sadhana acting workshop phase 1, which has significantly enriched her exploration of expression and stage presence. Deeply passionate about preserving and promoting Indian classical arts, Aarti aspires to share their beauty, tradition, and cultural values through performance, teaching, and research. Can we please give her a big round of applause, please? Aarti today will be performing Krishna Kali, a piece that celebrates the amalgamation of Krishna and Kali, the unison of all energies that creates and sustains existence. This piece particularly describes how the divine yoni of Ma Kali is placed in the eye of a peacock feather, which is then incarnated in the womb of Devaki to birth Krishna. Such is the cycle of sustenance, where there is no beginning or end, but an appreciation of all as one and the same. This is a Shyama Sangeet Krishna Kali, inspired by a beautiful idea from the devotional traditions of Kolkata. It is in Ragam Desh and Rupakatala.
কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালীর রূপমা, কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালীর কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালীর রূপ, আমার 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 কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালীর রূপ, যার গলায় রোদে কুণ্ডমালা, সেই রে বনমালী, যার গলায় রোদে কুণ্ডমালা, সেই রে বনমালী, আমার কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালীর রূপ, যার গলায় রোদে কুণ্ডমালা, একের মাঝে দুয়ের মিলন, একের মাঝে দুয়ের মিলন, কালার মাঝে সাথী। কৃষ্ণ যে সেই কালী, যার গলায় ধরে
I think she deserves a bigger round. I think that was a wonderful piece, and this shows the amalgamation of different art forms put together. Like how theatre, we have, storytelling, prose reading. This is dance, and it's a beautiful amalgamation of literature coming together with rhythm. And the quote that went out on today's social media post was, "Literature finding its rhythm today." And I think literature indeed found its rhythm today. Can we please give a bigger round of applause? I now request I now request our guest performer Aarti to please come on stage, and I request our managing director and founder Mr. Vijay Vishwanathan to please honor our guest performer for the evening.
I think it was a fabulous piece of art that she performed on stage today. And to perform for that music with that kind of precision, and that kind of grace that she brought in, I guess it was just fantastic. Thank you so much for accepting to perform here. I'm sure you've inspired many of our children. I feel some of our parents too, and our viewers online. Thank you so much, Aarti.
I will now hand over the mic to my friend Ritika, who will be anchoring for the rest of the show. Enjoy the show. Over to you, Ritika.
Thank you, Nirveer. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ritika, and I will be your host for the second half of today's show. Our 11th performer for today's Read on Children's Literature Festival 2026 is Sahana Shri. She'll be performing an extract from Roald Dahl's famous novel Matilda. The story is about a brilliant young bookworm with superpowers. But there is an interesting backstory to this novel. Matilda was originally written as a manipulative character, but Roald Dahl rewrote the entire manuscript before it was even published. Over to you, Anushree. Pardon me, Sahana Shri.
Hi everybody, I'm Sahana Shri from grade 3 senior, and today I'm going to do a monologue from Matilda. When I grow up, I'll be tall enough to reach the branches that I need to reach to climb the trees. You get to climb when you grow up. As a kid,
I used to be very silent. I was alone with my thoughts about a tons of questions inside my head. I asked myself about why the sky is blue, the green leaves, and how the world actually works. I was born different. I was very quiet. Never spoke until someone asked me to. Just like Matilda, I was different from others. Just like Matilda, I was different from others. I grew up very quickly. I learned how to read at a really young age. Some people thought that I was smart. Others thought that I was unique. But little did they know that the little kid was still a little kid. The little kid has to discover how the world works on her own, with her different brain. She has to socialize with people the hard way, because the hard way was considered the normal way. I was very different, because the hard way was considered the normal way. They let that little girl discover the world on her own, without knowing her true feelings, without knowing what she wants and what she needs for herself. So the little kid was taught to be a grown-up, even before she knew how to be a human. Thank you. That was a mind-blowing performance, Sahana Shri. Next up is Gellert Burgess. Is an American author, poet, humorist, and an illustrator, and is well known for his poem, The Purple Cow. We now have the next performer, Vishmay, who will be performing the poem, I would rather have habits than clothes. The stage is yours, Vishmay.
Hi everyone, my name is Vishmay. Today I am going to perform a poem called I Would Rather Have Habits Than Clothes by Gellert Burgess. I would rather have habits than clothes, for that's where my intellect shows. And as for my hair, do you think I should care to comb it at night with my toes? I would rather have ears than nose, rather have fingers than toes. But as for my hair, I am glad it's all there. I will be awfully sad when it goes. I wish that my room had a floor. I don't so much care for a door, but all this walking around without touching the ground, it's getting to be a quiet abode. Thank you.
That was a wonderful performance, Vishmay. G.K. Chesterton once said, literature is a luxury. Our next poet may not have lived in a luxury, but experiencing his poem has truly elevated all of us, and to think that we are living in the same soil as he did is something to be proud about. We now have Vera Shri performing the poem Sutram Vili Chudar by Mahakavi Bharatiyar.
வணக்கம், என் பேரு வேதா. இன்று நான் மகாகவி பாரதியார் கவிதை பாட போறேன். சுட்டும் விழிச்சுடத்தான் கண்ணம்மா, சூரிய சந்திரரோ வட்டக்கரிய விழி கண்ணம்மா, வானகருமைகளோ பட்டு கருநீல புடவை பதித்த நல்வைரம், நட்ட நலனிசையில் தெரியும் நட்சத்திரங்களடி சோலை மலரொளியோ நினது சுந்தர புன்னகைதான் நீல கடலலையே நினது நெஞ்சின் அலைகளடி கோயிலோசை உனது குரலின் நினைவுகளடி வாழை குமரியடி கண்ணம்மா மறுவ காதல் கொண்டேன் சாத்திரம் பேசுகிறாய் கண்ணம்மா சாத்திரம் ஏது கடி ஆத்திரம் கொண்டவர்க்கே கண்ணம்மா சாத்திரம் கொண்டோடி மூத்தவர் சம்மதி வதுவை முறைகள் பின்பு செய்வோம் காத்திருப்பேன் அடி இது பார் கன்னத்தில் முத்தம் ஒன்று நன்றி
That was a beautiful song, Vedashri. Our 16th performer for today and of this year's read-on is Gautam, who will be performing Holding a Fist by Naomi Shihab. Naomi is an American writer, poet, songwriter, and a novelist. All her writing is influenced by her experiences growing up as an American and by her travels through the Middle East and Asia. Over to you, Gautam.
Hello everyone, my name is Gautam. Today I'm going to perform a poem by Naomi Shihab Naik. For the first time in North Tampico, I felt my life sliding out of me. I was 7, laying in my car, watching the palm tree swirling and sucking up past the glass. My stomach was like a melon split wide inside my skin. How do you know if you're gonna die? I begged my mother. We were traveling for days. With a strange confidence, she answered, "And you no longer can make a fist." Years later, I smiled, thinking of the journey, the borders we all have came separated. I was still alive. Who am I still living? Making, twine, crunching and opening my hand. Thank you.
What an amazing performance, Gautam. Our next performer for today is Manaswini, who will be performing an extract from the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Did you know the original names of the children were Anne, Martin, Rose and Peter, and the name Narnia comes from the Latin word Narni, which refers to an ancient city in Italy. Over to you, Manaswini.
Good evening. My name is Manaswini from grade 1 senior. Today I am going to narrate the story from Chronicles of Narnia, chapter 2, What Lucy Found. Good evening, said Lucy, but the fawn was so busy picking up its parcels that at first it did not reply. When it had finished, it made her a little bump. Good evening, said the fawn. Excuse me, I don't want to be inquisitive, but am I right in thinking that you're a daughter of Eve? My name is Lucy, said she, not quite understanding. But you are horn. A girl? Of course I'm a girl, said she. In fact, you're human? Of course I'm a human, said Lucy. To be sure, said the fawn. How stupid of me, but I never seen a son of Adam or daughter of Eve before. I'm delighted. That is to say, and then it stopped as if it was going to say something it had not done, but remembered in time. Delighted, it went on. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Toughness. I'm pleased to meet you, Mr. Toughness, said Lucy. And may I ask, oh Lucy, daughter of Eve, how you came into Narnia? Said the fawn. Narnia? What's that? Said Lucy. This is the land of Narnia, where we are now. All the life between the lamppost and the great castle of Cair Paravel on the eastern sea. And you have come from the wild woods of the west? I got into the wardrobe in the sparrow, said she. Ha, said Mr. Tumnus, rather in a melancholy voice. If I had only worked harder on geography when I was a little fawn, I should no doubt know all these strange countries. It is too late. They aren't countries at all, said Lucy. It's only back there. At least, I'm not sure. It is summer there. Meanwhile, said Mr. Tumnus, it is winter in Narnia and ever so long, and we shall both catch cold if we stand here talking in the snow. Oh, Lucy, daughter of Eve, from the far land of the fair moon, where eternal summer reigns, around the bright city of wardrobe. It would be nice if you came and had tea with me. Thank you very much, Mr. Tumnus, but I was wondering whether I ought to be getting back. Thank you.
What a wonderful performance, Manaswini. Our next performer for today is Dash, who will be narrating an extract from the novel series Secret 7 by Enid Blyton. Did you know that Enid Blyton is said to have written up to 10,000 words per day? What an amazing feat! Truly unbelievable. Over to you, Dash.
Good evening everyone, my name is Darshika and today I'm going to be performing an extract from The Secret 7, a story written by Enid Blyton. We would better have a meeting of The Secret 7, said Peter. We haven't had one for ages. Oh yes, let's, said Janet, shutting a book with a bang. It isn't that we have forgotten about the society, Peter. It's just that there's so many exciting things to do over Christmas holidays, we simply haven't had the time to call off a meeting. But we must, said Peter. It's no use having a secret society unless we use it. We better send out the messages to the others. Fine notes to write, groaned Janet. You're quicker at writing than I am, Peter. You write 3 and I'll write 2, said Scamper the Golden Spaniel. I know you would love to write if you could, said Janet, patting the silly golden head. You could carry one of these in your mouth and deliver. That can be your job, Scamper. What shall we say? Told Peter, while pulling a piece of words and chewing the end of his pen while he was trying to think of the words. Well, I suppose we can tell them to come here. I think we can use the old shed in the bottom of the garden as a meeting place. Mommy lets us play there during winter because it's next to the boiler room which heats the greenhouse and keeps it warm. Right. I'll write the first letter, Janet, then you can copy it. So let's see. We need one for Colin, one for Pam, one for Barbara, one for Jack. Who's the seventh one of us? I've forgotten. George, of course. Oh yes. One for George, one for Pam, one for George, one for Pam, one for Colin, one for Jack, one for Barbara, one for you, and one for you and me. That's the seven, the secret seven. Thank you.
There was a great performance, Dash. Our next performer is Tanvika Shri, who will be performing the story of the greedy rabbit by Enid Blyton. For all of us, Enid Blyton has been a part of our childhood, but did you know that she wrote at an incredible speed, bringing out almost 50 books a year during the peak of her career?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanvika. I am going to perform a story called Greedy Rabbit. The story written by Enid Blyton. Once upon a time, there was a little rabbit. He loved eating fresh, juicy vegetables more than anything else. Every morning, he hopped through the fields looking for tasty carrot, cabbage, and lettuce. One day, he saw wonderful vegetable garden, full of delicious food. He began to eat happily. He thought, what if I get hungry later? I should eat as much as I can now. Soon the stomach was full. He could not, because he eaten too much, he could not hop properly. It was slow and heavy. Suddenly, the rabbit heard a farmer coming towards the farm. He tried to run away, but he was too full to move quickly. At last, with great effort, the rabbit managed to jump over the fence and ran away to his home. And he sat and thought, what had happened? He thought, what happened? If I eat what I need, I can escape. My greedy nearly got me into trouble. From that day onwards, the rabbit was never ever greedy again. He remembered, greedy can lead to trouble, contentment gives happiness. A moral of the story, greedy can lead to trouble, contentment gives happiness. Thank you.
There was a stunning narration, Tanvika Shri. We now move on to the 19th performer of this evening and the 55th performer of this year's read-on. We have Vishant Vaidyanathan. performing Jacques' monologue from As You Like It.
Hi everyone, my name is Vishant and I will be performing a monologue called As You Like It by William Shakespeare. All the world's a stage, and all men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time played many parts. His act speaks 7 ages, at first the infant, mewling and puking at the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with the satchel and a shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwilling to school, and then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow, and then the soldier, full of strange oaths, bearded like a part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarreling, and then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and line, with beard, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise sauce and moral incense. And so he plays his part. Thank you.
That was a nice performance. Our 22nd performer for this evening is Vaishnavi, who will be performing a poem about Kuyali. Kuyali was the commander-in-chief in the army of Velu Nachiyar, who is a very prominent figure in Indian freedom struggle, and he is often remembered as the first suicide bomber who helped our queen Velu Nachiyar defeat the British East India Company. Over to you, Vaishnavi.
திரௌபதி நெருப்பிலிருந்து பிறந்தவள் என்றும் கண்ணகியின் கோபம் மதுரையை எரித்தது என்றும் நமக்கு தெரியும். நமது தாய்நாட்டை காப்பதற்காக தன் உடலில் நெய்யூற்றி தீமூட்டி கொண்டு வரலாற்றில் முதல் தற்கொலை தாக்குதல் வீரராக மாறிய ஒரு பெண்ணை பற்றி உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? அவர் வேற யாரும் அல்ல, வீரமங்கை ராணி வேலு நாச்சியாரின் படைகளின் தளபதி குயிலிதான். சூரியனை போல் ஒளி வீசிய அவர் சிவகங்கை போரின் போது கிழக்கிந்திய கம்பெனியின் ஆயுத கிடங்கிற்குள் குதித்து ராணிக்கு வெற்றியை தேடி தந்தார். பிரிட்டிஷாருக்கு எதிராக போர் தொடுத்த முதல் இந்திய ராணி என்ற பெருமையுடன் வீரமங்கை வேலு நாச்சியார் இன்று வரை போற்றப்படுகிறார். சந்தேகமின்றி மேம்பட்ட ஆயுதங்களை கொண்டிருந்த எதிரிகளின் படைகளை இந்த பெண்கள் இருவரும் இணைந்து தடுத்து நிறுத்தினர். இவர்கள் ஒருவருக்கொருவர் துணையாக நின்றனர். நாம் குயிலியை நினைக்கும் போதெல்லாம் நமது காலத்து ஒரு சாதாரண பெண் வாழ்வை தாண்டி அமரக் கடவுளாக மாறியதை உணர்கின்றோம். இப்பொழுது குயிலியை பற்றி ஒரு சிறிய கவிதையை கேட்போமா? வீர சக்தியாய் வேலு நாச்சியார் வெற்றி மட்டுமே குறிக்கோளாய் வினை நினைக்கையில் கதை முடித்திட வீச்சு வாழென நின்றதியால் நேரெதிர்த்தொரு நீச பரணியின் நினைவுகள் தீக்கு இரையாக நெருப்பு மேனியாய் நின்ற ஜோதியால் நீர்ப்புகழ் குயிலி பெயருடையாள். நெருப்பு மேனியாய் நின்ற ஜோதியால் நீர்ப்புகழ் குயிலி பெயருடையாள். காதல் தேசமாய் கடமை கோவிலாய் காரியம் அது செய்தகமாய் கருணை பெண்ணினம் கனல் செய்யும் என காட்ட வந்த ஒரு சூரியனாய் வேத வேள்வி போல் தீ வளர்த்ததில் வெற்றியாகுதி ஆனவர் யார்? வேத வேள்வி போல் தீ வளர்த்ததில் வெற்றியாகுதி ஆனவர் யார்? வேலு நாச்சியின் வீர சாட்சினம் குயிலி போல் வளர் பெண்ணினமே. வேலு நாச்சியின் வீர சாட்சினம் குயிலி போல் வளர் பெண்ணினமே. நன்றி.
That brings us to the end of day 1 of Read On Children's Literature Festival Season 7. Can we please give the children a big round of applause? Thank you so much, dear parents and those who are viewing on our social media handle. I now request all the children to please come up on the stage.